Alright, good day everyone and welcome back to Rogue Trader. This is the second half of the recording from last session, and I just want to say, as I'm discovering, there's a lot of combat in this game and a lot of dialogue. So moving forward, I'm going to try and summarize more dialogue, especially after this recording, while also skipping past some of the combats that are seal clubbing and focusing on 1 to 2 interesting and difficult combats per episode. And as a result, this episode is going to cut in just a few minutes into the last recording, just after we've had a relatively easy combat and we start exploring the rest of the Navigator station. That said, let's jump into it and save ourselves a Navigator. I always get nervous when I start getting loot like mutated flesh sample. Like, that does not scream wonderful things. Ripper auto pistol. I'm going to go through all this in a moment. First, I'm just going to finish looting everything in the vicinity and see if we get any equipment upgrades. Alright, so I've gone around the team. Abelard gets the thing for being shot at because he's meant to get shot at. Just about everyone has been issued a las gun as their secondary because it's got a rate of... It doesn't do much damage, but it has a dodge reduction, a long range, 40 ammo in the charge pack, and a rate of fire of 4. So this thing can burst 10 times before you have to reload it, which for someone who's not specializing in rapid reload like Adira, who's just dumping bolts as fast as they will go, works perfectly fine. I'm not issuing the flak chest plates because they actually suck. You get 5% more armor than the default armored body glove that most of my people are wearing, but you lose 25% of your dodge. The math on that does not work out. Also, we don't want these, so add them to cargo, and we'll send the axe to cargo. The Ripper auto pistol has a rate of fire of 8. That's a lot of rounds it puts down range, but because of recoil, you're going to miss things a lot of the time. So I actually think the only place that I issue this maybe is an upgrade for Adira for very close range engagements. But for close range, like, Abelard's going to be hitting them anyway. Adira's got psychic powers for close range engagements, or she can hit them with the staff. And Perun's just yelling at people. Like, he shouldn't be in melee, so that's fine. But I'm probably going to, honestly, I'm going to send those to cargo because I don't want them. We also have a lot of scrappy auto pistols and auto pistols. The scrappy auto pistols are shit, so we'll send them to storage. The auto pistol itself standard, it's okay, but it is what it is. Looks like there's one more thing to loot here. Oh great, lessons for servants. Maybe I can give them to people on my ship, but other than that, we're all good. So we're going to explore. There's a door that way and a door this way. I'm going to go the less classic game logic. I'm going to follow the less impressive looking door first, just in case it's a side area, which means more loot. So I've come through a side door. Apparently there's a room over there with a trap in it, and there are some dudes in here. So let's go have a look. This is ominous. So someone's hearing voices in their head. Usually not a good sign when that happens in Warhammer, because usually the voice is something very, very bad. Oh great, paranoid delusions. You are in league with them. Is this an insurrection? Yes indeed. Death to the traitors. And these guys are just very confused, it looks like. Oh, and he's shooting. Man, that guy could have run, but okay. Okay, he's not feeling okay. Let's put it that way. Thank you, whoever decided to shoot. Oh, it was... I shot him. Fantastic.
None shall stand in my way.
Well, we don't need any of those. I will check that side room. Collecting lots of nice little range weapons we might be able to trade off to someone. More of these data crypts. I'm collecting a lot of quest items, and I'm not sure exactly what they do yet, but hey, that's the point. Research notice. Mortal flesh, adamanted. This is... I think this might have something to do with all the quest items I have, because it's referring to things I recognize. Let's open this. Let's disarm that. Argenta, please.
The Emperor
Thank you. Ooh, lovely loot. Everyone needs their hallowed finger bone charms, right? And then we've got some doors to open. Let's tech use our way in.
What in the world?
Let's
This cannot be.
multi-key. No. Melter charge. Thank you. Really need someone with better tech use to lockpick on the team. I'm guessing once we recruit a new engineer... Oh, this is more like... This is more like it. Oh, long las. 14 to 20 damage. Dodge reduction 30. Additional hit chance 25. Please and thank you. And Carapace is extra armor with no reduction to dodge. Beautiful. So, what's happening? Because Argenta needs the burst fire, so that, even though this does more damage, I think Argenta's going to be able to do more using the burst fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to issue Perun this for 1 AP shooting each turn, because Adira's using psychic powers. We'll give Abelard the better stub pistol, and Argenta's going to keep working with the bolter, but thank you very much. And because we're muchly important, let's issue a Carapace chestplate to Perun.
What in the world?
As I do more lockpicking, apparently. I found a bunch of survivors in a side room. Oh, great. So the lesser servants don't have tongues and can't talk, and the rest of these guys are freaking out. There's chaos corruption on the wall. Fantastic sign.
Victory awaits.
Let's awaken the cogitator spirit, aka boot up the computer. Let's wake it up. Okay, so Felic is alive, Theobald is alive, he's the leader of the other faction. Rebels or... well, Rebels if you believe Felic. Calamira is dead, Alexius is dead. Rasmus Estevan is dead, and the child, upper chambers, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, calming procedures are advised. Alright, we'll examine the log. Looks like bad things were happening to the station. Explosive decompression in the living quarters. Preliminary causes officer sabotage. Okay, so bad things were happening. Okay, the captain says they were trying to contact Winterscale, but something was jamming the signal. Anyone could be the traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If you're in doubt, shoot to kill. Oh, okay. It is imperative we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. And then there was a following report which was deleted. The latest entry is Oronto visited. Data visit classified, reason classified, data departure classified. Fantastic. Good record keeping. Why you would classify everything in the report but not the report. Someone needs to look at their classification and data retention policy. Examine the security and life support logs. Shit ton of damage. A 60% chance of breaking through some of the defenses. And we failed. Main elevator controls, activate the elevator. That was our goal. I'm not going to call Rycad Minoris for help. I don't want Winterscale turning up right now. Plus, I believe something's wrong anyway. Main chamber controls. Let's open all doors. Oh, this is very helpful. I'm just going to click things. Sweet, okay, we opened that door. That's good. What does this do? It says that door's already been opened. Okay. That one's depressurized. That's been opened. That's opened. I'm guessing that I wasted a bunch of lockpicking gear. Well, two. A melter bomb and a whatever on things that I could have opened using that cogitator, but that's okay. Let us, while my voice is still with me, that's great. Because this means the veil is weak. Awesome.
This cannot be. I won't tolerate weakness.
So a lot of loot. Looks like the Medicaid test failed, so we don't get information there. Flesh sample.
It's about time.
Again, stuff that you're always really happy to loot. Doesn't this just look like a place where only good things were happening? Like this was absolutely a cure for cancer laboratory. Nothing nefarious was happening here at all. There is someone alive here who we'll talk to in a moment. Let's have a talk to Lady Acacia's Medicaid. They lost their minds. Please don't kill me. Okay. Okay. That is the quest. That'll give us access to the elevator, so we'll do that in a second. I'm guessing catalyst, reagent, data crypt, connector. Yeah, okay. So there is a combination.
You consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
Thank you for that piece of advice, Abelard. I think that's very true. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This... Blessed by data crypt. Okay. You're going to have to leave me here for a second. This is clearly about putting together a combination of the things that I have found. See, two of them fit into this spot that make up something. These notes refer to combinations. I'm not going to make you watch me as I read them and try and figure out what the combinations are, so just give me a minute. Okay, some quick faffing around later. It's a lot of reading and I don't want to show off the quest answer necessarily, but we got something called adaptive antidote. Or antidote. Potential typo there, devs. Grants immunity to toxic damage and inflicts a -10 penalty to toughness. So we'll use that in any situation where... I mean, we can issue them so everyone's got them in their inventory. Like, if we split... So if we ever encounter a situation where there is a lot of toxic damage... I don't think everyone needs multiples, so this is probably enough. Just usually want everyone a good combination of them in case we encounter a whole bunch of toxic damage. And then I think we have to remake the control rod.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Now we need to go back to Felek, which means doing more cardio. The Lady Navigator statue looks pristine and new. I'm guessing that's Cassia then. That's the child. I'm guessing. More cardio.
That was a good idea.
Over.
Abelard failed, so someone else had to take the test, but that's okay. We've done our cardio. And let's talk to Felek. You dealt with the threat and power of the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Idira. Idira suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling. The crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. I'm guessing that's the Navigator. They all wear masks so poor and flimsy. They fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man and another a traitor. This has got to be him and the other dude. Blind man and a traitor. And he's not blind. Yeah, okay, cool. Tell me more. What paths? One path is played with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. Simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Alright, well I love it when a game is telling us that whatever path we follow we get to the same place. Some honesty about quest design. Thank you, everything is clear now. This station has enough problems without your force. Okay, so I have many questions. I'm going to ask him who the child is. The child is what the station servants called Lady. I thought so. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. Oh, that's right, because they cut the tongues out of some of them because they're really nice people. Some prove to be more useful when they are still able to speak. The madman I fought were convinced that we were the traitors. That's why they are insane. Will you really hear the ramblings of retainers who dared raise their hand against the scions of no bloodline? The servants, most corpses they discovered were either unarmed or feeble. The senior officers are just as guilty. Coup was staged by those closest to the mistress. Destroying the shuttles, shutting off the power, disabling the security systems. Too many things require special access. Access only available to the keeper of the station, i.e. you. As I'm sure you're aware, there were two keepers of the station. Theobald, demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power. Yeah, look, if she's saying there's a traitor, it's this dude. Enough, I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. Huh. It really is time to end this. I was hoping to find an ally in you, but now you're merely delaying the sorrowful end of your story. Prepare to die.
Take a knee and bow before me.
Alright, well, there you go. So Felix with 58 hit points. Chunky boy. These bodyguards are no slouches either. 26. So they're at least as tough as our characters. This is a much tougher fight, it looks like. Oh, we got some dudes right here. Right up in our business. So what we're going to need to do, we're going to need to secure this side of the map quickly before we move in and breach the other side. We've got some shotgunners and stuff over there. 2 shotgunners, it looks like. Hopefully the shotgunners won't be too dangerous immediately. But this guy here has got to go. So let's bring Perun to here, Argenta to here, Adira to here, and Abelard to there. And then we're just going to try and clear these guys up as quickly as possible, including... So this is the only bodyguard that takes a turn quickly. So we're going to order Argenta to take a turn and try and knock this guy out straight away. Because we get to bring it down immediately. Oh, that's not the hit chance I was hoping for.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I am eradicated.
But she monsters him. Monster maneuver. Fantastic. Love it. And let's Furious Recital.
Without deeds is worthless.
Just get a little momentum. She'll get one for him and one for them. Felix will bravely run away. Tides of time and space. No idea what that does yet. Ooh, that shotgun really hurt Adira. This bodyguard gotta go. Does he take a turn before Abelard? No, so Abelard can take care of him. Argenta, I'm kind of worried about these guys coming around and putting Lasfire down on her from the flank. But she also doesn't have too many options, and we kind of need to start putting fire down here. Or she can do long distance shooting here, but then she's got to worry about these guys. I think it's going to be this.
Be the fire in my heart.
The long distance shooting is not promising. That's more promising. And then maybe Abelard can finish him off.
I'll do it.
2 hits is solid. 2 hits is solid. Let's run and gun. Amazing. Amazing. I think that's actually her Revel in Slaughter 2. One more and she can clear that debuff from run and gun. Which is good because Perun's turn will be up before you know it. Abelard, you have no movement. Why do you have no movement? What are you fatigued from? I have no clue what has nuked Abelard's ability to move, but it has. So we're going to rock out the las gun,
Someone else can do this.
put some damage reduction out. And break out the burst fire. Again, my philosophy, take out the mooks first. And Adira needs to get that ballistic skill bonus down on Argenta quickly, even though I would love to get some dodge happening on me. See, exposing Adira would be great for offense, a bit painful. Let's switch to the gun so I get the line of sight indicators. Okay, it looks like I have perfect line of sight from here. That's great.
I know what is to come.
Let's get the vulnerabilities down. Swap back to the staff. And light them up. Love it, good damage. Now let's get Argenta buffed and going.
Already done.
Okay, so her ballistic skill is now up to 72 despite the debuff. One more kill and she should be good to go. Let's go into the free rapid reload. Which lets her burst. This one's closer and thus more dangerous. I'll take one hit, even though it wasn't great, and then Haroon himself can take a shot, and look at that, all of a sudden, we have accuracy and damage. There's a kill here, let's take it.
You didn't stand a chance.
So with 1 AP per turn, I can now contribute while also getting Argenta to put out damage. Well, that's not great. Alright, I think that's her Revel in Slaughter. Ballistic skill up to 92. Base value, love it. Look at that. So she should now be popping shots. Let's go run and gun. Straight into run and gun again, which will take us back down to 82. But also mean we can put down an extra single shot, because all about DPS at the moment. Okay, Abelard still with no movement.
At your beck and call.
So we're Endure and Fire it is. Two hits, I'll take it. Dira's really not feeling good.
Anything else?
So let's get some defensive buffs down on her.
There is movement in the Empyrean.
What did I just do that for? Because I'm going to have to get myself back into full cover. There's no way around it. I mean, I could shoot. But I actually think Adira is better just preserving herself and keeping the buffs going, rather than risking passing out. We'll advance into full cover. We'll Vok Adira. Give Argenta more shots, and then we'll take a shot ourselves. 2 hits.
Nothing I can't do.
Damn it. Okay, that area of effect has knocked out part of our team. And by part, I mean Adira. But we're starting to put some of the hurt down on the Navigator, so it might be we don't need to put him down this turn,
All of you with me.
just because that AoE is not pleasant.
Suits my purposes.
We'll Vok Abelard.
I'll pass.
Target can't
Absolutely
act.
not.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we have to command Abelard then. I'm guessing she's disabled by some psyker bullshit. Everyone loves psyker bullshit. Shoot Mr. Ocelio. Shoot Mr. Ocelio. 16. Okay. Agenta is back in the game. So I think what we do is we run out of cover.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it.
Reload. Burst.
As the Emperor commands, right in the fray.
Navigator's down. Run and gun. Full cover.
Rejoice in battle. I'll do it.
That shot was never going to hit, but you know, we took the chance.
Could it happen?
Haroon is down.
I will do my duty.
I think we got this, but it's going to be it's going to be a close run thing.
At your beck and call. Target well struck.
Probably undermanaged on my part. Yeah, she needs to get closer in order to engage, which is a problem.
Faith without deed cannot escape the Emperor's judgment. From the ashes I will rise.
Okay, Argenta is on a mighty 1 hit point.
Guided by faith. I'll do it.
He is on 2.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
It will be done.
Got him. Oh. Alright, welcome to the game. Let's do some looting. Everyone's back up. As you can see, people have taken some injuries as a result of going down in that combat, but it gets healed back on the Void ship. So I'm really hoping this mission is over now that we've killed him, but we will find out. Let me just loot, I'll be right back. Okay, I've distributed some loot, which we'll go through later. I also think I've worked out what was going on with these injuries. These fatigue stacks, I believe. I failed some skill checks trying to jump over this thing before, and I have a feeling when you jump over it, well, he succeeded there. Obviously, you need to pass it eventually in order to move on. I think what happens is when you fail it, you stack up injuries. Oh, I forgot something here. Well, let me just collect that. I'll check that later. So yeah, I think that's why Abelard got himself mega fatigued and as a result had no movement points or anything in combat. Most of my team is pretty destroyed at this point. So we're just going to go open up the lift and go and recruit ourselves a Navigator. 2 key operation system. Up we go. Well, this looks super promising. Awesome. All right, so this is obviously our Navigator. This is Cassia, and she is resonating. Only now do you notice the third eye on the woman's forehead. So yeah, definitely a Navigator. We pass a willpower check. So you master your emotions. And Adira is feeling it too. Now this one's barging into my head. Someone stop her. Argenta just, of course, Argenta says heresy. Probably not heresy, probably just Navigator bullshit, as opposed to our usual brand of ordinary Psycho Warp bullshit. There's a persuasion option here. Lady Cassia, I am here to help you. Please calm yourself. And we will pass that because we are charismatic. There we are. Persuasion test passed. She wakes up. I'll introduce myself. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. We have to be polite. So, Navigator houses, very rich, very powerful. Cassia and the people present, like, you do not want to offend the Navigators at all. We can do more Navigator lore later, but for the moment, just rich, powerful, and important. Theobald runs over. Child. Okay, she's passed out. This is Theobald, the guy the other person was calling a traitor, but probably isn't. My eyes fail me. They are unable to see was either enemy or ally. Adira is saying this one is so deranged he makes the whispers shriek like crazy. We have persuasion and commerce. I'm going to go commerce. I mean you no harm. I come to seek the Navigator's aid. There we are. That calms him down. He's asking who I am. Abelard introduces. Come on. His Lordship Rogue Trader, Perun von Valancius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Corunus Expanse and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade, extends his greetings. There we are. This is a good reason to keep Abelard around. I love being able to just tell him to introduce me. Okay, Theobald is surprised, but happy to see us. Estelio asks you a service. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Ooh, future cooperation from a Navigator house, you say? Have my interest. What is the curse that took a hold of everyone in this room? Curse. You do not understand the sacred gift given to our child. When the child is sad, we all weep. When the child smiles, we all laugh giddily. The child wants blood, the world turns crimson. Oh, so her emotions bleed out into everyone around her. Okay. And she was scared because of the coup and sad and distressed, so everyone was sad and distressed. Yeah, and Dear saying they call me dangerous witchcraft. Okay, I want to know what happened between him and Felek. He sought to steal the most precious treasure, the heir to a house. Okay. Boy. Okay, sinking to before the child came of age and taken up the Novitas. So, as we thought, it looks like he was staging a coup, either kidnap or knock off Cassia, so that he would be in charge of the dynasty and not her. Why should I trust you? My faith bridge. Okay, he's basically saying, look, you can take my word for it, and also I was protecting her. She was the target. At this stage, I'm like, kind of need to take his word for it. What else am I going to do? Gun everyone down? That would miss my opportunity to have any good relationship with the house, considering I shot the other one. What service do you ask of me? Save the child. Take her away from the station. I fear I do not have long left. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Aronto, acting head of House Orcelius in the Corunus Expanse. Rest assured the reward will be worth your effort. Adira is showing navigation. Meanwhile, concern about the girl, whereas Argenta is saying such a fragile thing with a heavy burden upon her shoulders. Interesting, you were accusing her of heresy just a moment ago, but now you're chill. Okay. He's definitely suggesting he's going to die. I'm going to offer him medical care. And he's saying, no, he's going to go along with this station. Okay, so clearly he was badly wounded. I think I read he was badly wounded in the fight. I won't hound him on losing control of his station. That just seems like putting the boot in unnecessarily. I don't want to damage relations here. I believe I've made my decision. I can shoot them for reasons. I can insult Carcia and take the dying man with me if I'm an idiot, or I can say Carcia will come with me. Okay, here comes some servants. Ooh, voice dialogue. Okay, he's definitely in a bad way. Oh yeah, I came to save you like a big goddamn hero, and not at all because it is politically advantageous for my house and the fact that I desperately need a navigator and you are the only one in the system that I haven't yet shot or is dying. Okay, so he's saying that she's going to have to come with me, which I'm happy with as long as she can navigate a void ship, which I'm guessing she can. I like the approach. Order him not to die. Does that work? Okay, apparently it doesn't. I'm going to say that I regret we had to meet under such circumstances, or forgive the urgency we should leave this. I'm going to say I regret. Like, I get you. Ooh, interesting choice. Interesting. So I have a choice now whether I use this situation against her or not. Now, if you're interested in short-termism, you can say, if you wish to leave the station alive, you must first sign a contract. You will undertake to serve as my navigator until I release you from that obligation. She's going to have to say yes because she doesn't want to die on the station. And in exchange, you have the potential head of a house on contract, and they'll have to give you a lot, presumably, to release her from that contract. On the other hand, two problems. Firstly, there are lots of things navigator houses can do to you, just as you can do things to navigator houses. I have a feeling that like blackmailing her into signing a disadvantageous contract, I feel like the rest of House of Celia would have a problem with this. The other problem I have with it, as well as it just being a dick move in general, is if her emotions bleed to those around her, if she is feeling resentful, hateful, mutinous, and wanting to stab me in the back, she's going to be on my ship. So doesn't that mean everyone else is going to be feeling like mutinous, resentful, and wanting to stab me in my back? Whereas if I make good friends with her, she's going to be the head of a house, politically advantageous, but also hopefully those feelings of loyalty, friendship, support, familiarity, whatever, if we can instill them, hopefully those will bleed out into the rest of the crew and they'll think I'm top shit too. So there's a nice option here. There has to be. Lady Calcia, I, Perun von Valancia's rogue trader of the Imperium of Man, offer you my protection and grant you shelter aboard my vessel like the big goddamn hero I am. Trying to be a good guy in the 40k universe. I firmly believe that goodwill goes a long way in negotiations sometimes, so let's open with that. Theobald saying her not to worry with what's happening. Oh, they can come. All who can be saved will be given succor aboard my ship. I want to be your friend. And I can no longer bear the pain of all of these horrific injuries that are affecting all of us, like the head trauma, the fatigue, the crippled arm, like seriously. So I'll do a quick check for, there's some loot here that we'll grab, and then we're going back to the ship. And then I assume you have to interface with my ship, and then presumably from there, we can level you up. Let's drop a save. Check everything is good. And head back to the ship. Okay, and just like that, we are back on the ship. This seems dramatic enough to be worth showing. Let's see. Ooh, I love the spinny chair. There is some serious and unnecessary level mechanical engineering necessary to make that very heavy looking chair rotate like that. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. Without even looking at the Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak with the Rogue Trader Levis. Good, yes, bow, be respectful. Like I said, the Navigator houses are important. Don't mess with the Navis Nobilite. Cassia sweeps a pensive gaze over Vigdis, and then lowering her lashes slightly turns to you. I do not want to speak when you go to the Sanctum Novus now. No, like I said, if her emotions bleed, instilling positivity is important. What do you wish to speak about? Da-da-da. Oh, she's happy. I wish to look into the eyes of the man whose fame is so great it managed to penetrate the walls of Iraq 5 before we ever met. I guess that must have been because I was a noble. And now I'm a rogue trader too. Awesome. I've not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded so much mournful ash when Thorbot's heart stopped, but you acted honourably and did not exploit me in my wretched position. Absolutely, I did not. Not a chance. And for that, I am immeasurably grateful. I'm also grateful you saved my cert. See, yeah, goodwill. Let's farm the goodwill. He knows how to properly, especially if she's been sheltered on that station her whole life. Like, there's a chance to make a good impression here. Her life has just been turned upside down. Like, it's not going to be welcome to the Imperium. Here's some blackmail. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. So she's happy we took the servants too. I'm ready to go to the Sanctum Novus, perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. This will be her ritual for attenuating to the ship. Every Navigator house has its own set of rituals to enable them to attenuate, and then another ritual to actually navigate the warp. Understanding the warp, because it is so incomprehensible to the human mind, every individual house develops a way to help understand it. It sounds like hers involves painting. Usually these things, not all of them, but most of them are pretty horrific too. Do I want to know more? Yeah, she won't tell me about the ritual. Just that she's going to link with the vessel, which I already knew. Then she'll open her eye to the nightmare of the warp. Why do you refuse red paint? Uwe will give of his blood as before the ritual. Yeah, these rituals, look, there's a chance someone's going to die. There's a chance someone's going to bleed. The warp is a really shit place, really evil place. And therefore, the rituals to interact with it are usually not like PG-13. I shall ensure the net you get the necessary supplies. And let's send her on her way. And I assume we're now going to link her with the ship. That does seem to be what's happening. Okay, initiating communion ritual. This is where we're going to join her to our ship, because the navigator needs to link with the ship in order to navigate it effectively. Come here, Uwe. Okay, so she takes some blood from Uwe and then sends him away. And she's going to say a whole bunch of crazy shit. I don't know why we're listening to this. I don't even want to analyze the warp shit. The Voxmaster accidentally knocks something and cuts off communication temporarily. I can have them whipped. Let's not get them whipped. I think they know that they screwed up. And the servants are dead. I sort of expected that. So there we are. We saved the servants from Iraq 5. She was grateful, and then they died in the ritual anyway. But now she is linked to our vessel, and she doesn't have to do that again. Usually the ritual to actually navigate each jump will be different too, but she is now linked to our vessel. Ritual was successful. The vessel's temperament was a challenge. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send if you have any need of me. And then Vigdis is saying, congratulations, we have a navigator. Oh, we can steal shit from the station. I assume the guy in charge is dead. Fortunately, with the decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Navis Nobilite brought us precious time. We can either send our forces to disassemble the station, procure technological components for our own vessel, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Well, I want components. With your permission, I would also like to remind you we're still looking for an Endencia Prime. We're missing some crew, not yet located. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Vigdis. That will be all. So I think what I want to do next is go to the prison planet before I go to Rykab Minoris. So we'll go to the prison planet next. Maybe the interrogator's there, maybe he's not. But there's a couple of things I want to do first. The first is, let's have a look at our void ship, because I think we just got some scrap. Excellent. I don't know everything we can use the scrap to upgrade, but I know at the very least we can do a hull upgrade that's cheap, and I think they increase in cost each time they do. So let's just get the first hull upgrade from 120 to 134, and then post. This is what I was looking for. So we can put people into different jobs. For the moment, I will be the Supreme Commander, and these have different skills and different abilities. The Master of Maneuvers, Abelard. I'll experiment with these more once we get to space combat, but Carcia can channel the warp, and Idira can master Etherics. We need a Cannoneer or a Shield Master. We don't have someone for both. And Idira is much better as a Master Cannoneer. So there we are. If we do get into space combat, we are now set. Now I want to run around the ship, do a little bit of organizing for a minute, level some people up, and I'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome to my digs. A couple of things have happened. Firstly, I cleaned up my inventory. There's a storage area in my room, and I just dumped all the quest items that I don't think I need in there, just so we have a nice clean inventory for the moment. I also spoke to my high factotum and said, hey, could you replace the portrait of Theodora with me in my quarters? So there we are. Nice new portrait of me. Very important stuff. However, more importantly, I think that Carcia and I are going to get along, because I had a look at her talent tree. So let me introduce you to a couple of things that I have noticed and done. And I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but this is just a result of me looking through the talent tree. So Carcia is a navigator and she is an officer. So she is an officer and a navigator. Looking at the navigator powers, her natural skills were perception and willpower. And then she starts with an ability called Little Stare. It's that big area of effect thing we saw the enemy navigator use. Big cone that does 13 to 16 damage, which is 1+ willpower bonus to 4+ willpower bonus, and the targets must pass a willpower resistance test or become stunned. So big AoE, pretty good damage, tied to our willpower bonus. So I was like, okay, go through the giant tree, where can we get willpower? And I discovered an ability. She starts with up to here already done. So I advanced her perception to get her to 60, and then I took this ability. She has a huge array of navigator abilities, and I'm just going to walk you through them because I think there's potential here. Mastery of time. Whenever a creature, and by that I think creature means like human, robot, whatever. It's just like, it's not person because I assume there are non-person things in combat. Gets an extra turn, the navigator gains a stacking +5 bonus to willpower until the end of combat. So anytime anything gets an extra turn, her willpower goes up by 5 for the rest of the fight. Okay, stick with me. Perun opens the combat by getting an extra turn through Seize the Initiative, +5. He uses Bring It Down on someone else, +5. Carcia, before combat starts, goes to willpower 70. But Carcia is also an officer. So I have taken Seize the Initiative on Carcia and a willpower advancement. So Carcia gets an extra turn, and Carcia also puts Bring It Down on Argenta. Carcia has now gone to willpower 80 before the combat has started. Aha, but there's more. You can have a party of 6. We don't have another 6 official party member yet, but I figured out earlier on when I was clicking around people, actually when I was getting my portrait changed, that you can hire people, like extra, like hirelings, by talking to High Factotum Generous Danrock, which I have done temporarily. Hirelings obviously won't have quests or be anywhere as good as the quest characters, but a extra body is an extra body. And so what I have done is created this character here, Just a Hireling, Commissar Just a Hireling, a former Imperial World Imperial Guard Commissar, who is an officer, which does a couple of things. Firstly, Just a Hireling also has Seize the Initiative and Bring It Down. So Argenta should get 3 shots before combat begins, 3 volleys, enough to, I think, almost dump the entire bolter. And Carcia should go to willpower 90 before combat commences, and then get +15 willpower every turn thereafter as everyone uses Bring It Down all the time. And then the Commissar has another ability, which has if you mark, which allows you once per combat to mark an enemy or an ally, and if you mark the enemy and an ally kills the enemy, that ally gains an extra turn with plus AP and plus MP, which would give Cassia more willpower. So that turn, Cassia would accumulate 20 additional willpower for the rest of the fight, not 15. So Cassia's willpower should go to space. And then you're like, okay, Perun, all you're really doing is saying that you're increasing the damage of Lidless Stare by like 1 or 2 per turn. What's the big deal? Aha, I'm sorry, I've been reading and I'm very excited. So if we go to the Navigator abilities, there are a bunch of them, that pivot off willpower. When will we get our next Navigator power? We'll get Navigator abilities here, all sorts of abilities that tie off willpower. But what I really want to look at is not common talents. Talents, here we are. Okay, here's just an example of a couple that I found. Perilous Ways. Enemies move by the Navigator abilities, and there are abilities Cassia has that force enemies to move, though willpower damage each turn, willpower damage at the end of their movement. So if Cassia has like 200 willpower, which I don't think is unreal, like a genuine possibility, 20 damage to everyone she forces to move, as well as forcing to move, plus 2 for every cell they move. Okay, great example. Mind over matter. The Navigator makes all resistance tests using their willpower, and if their willpower is higher than their toughness, their wounds are calculated using their willpower. Cool. Strange Vitality. The Navigator heals willpower bonus wounds at the beginning of every turn, plus 1 additional wound for every Navigator talent taken. The healing increases by plus 1 for every creature killed in between the Navigator's turn. So I can get Cassia regenerate, like where Abelard's tanking by regenerating like 4 per turn. I think we can get Cassia regenerating like 15 per turn. And I don't know how high we can push her HP. There were more. This one just says the Navigator starts all turns, including extra turns with plus, but there are so many things that I'm just like, okay. Oh, I was hoping that was willpower bonus. This one is every enemy the Navigator has in line of sight has its dodge and hit chance reduced by 2 times the perception bonus. If that was 2 times the willpower bonus, I reckon we could zero people out in terms of their ability to hit. So we might be running out, but we can use willpower for our resistance checks, our HP, our regeneration, and we can do damage based on it using both Lidless Stare and forcing people to move. So I don't know if it works yet, but that's my plan for Cassia. Everyone yells at Argenta. Cassia gets really, really powerful because everyone is yelling at Argenta, and then Cassia just nukes the whole board, while also regenerating more than a Khan effects while having the hit points of a Lehman Ross battle tank. That's the plan. So let's see if it's a good plan. I'm going to go do some other like quick chores around the ship because people said, hey, make sure you talk to the characters, which I will do. And then it might be time to sail somewhere else and maybe see if we can test Cassia out. First thing people said is I should check what Argenta wants in terms of my personal request. I can ask her other questions later on, but just in case this is a side mission. Okay, so she's telling me that because of the Chaos attack, there are a bunch of orphans on my ship. Okay, and she's saying the orphans traditionally get special consideration if their parents died in combat, which I think is fair. And she wants me to meet them. Absolutely. I'll meet them. No formalities required. I'm going to try and channel the idea of benevolence but discipline. And like the kids have just lost their parents. Let me help them out. Let me help them out. Oh, look at the poor kids. I say kids. Most of these look like serious young adults here. Motley group of adolescents don't take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you're a creature straight from a fairy tale. Fair enough. Oh, okay, and Argenta has been looking after them. Abelard said it's not exactly the Schola Progenia. So the Imperium takes in mostly orphans from those who die in Imperial service. and they get a really high quality education and then go into the imperial bureaucracy or into the sisterhood or into, in some cases, the Inquisition or the stormtrooper corps of the Imperial Guard. So you get a high quality education, but the Imperium is really also training you up for Imperial service. So I can give them a speech. I can smile and say, Lord Captain greets you, brave ones. I feel like they expect me to say something. The Rogue Trader will speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the Von Valancia's banners and those of the Imperium. I'm proud of them. I believe you'll become worthy heirs. I think they're just going to be very confused if I just say hi. So I'm going to speak to them. Teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Because it's weird to us, but I feel like here this is what they expect. Only a few at the end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed. Oh, one of them says, so what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches. Argenta looks like she wants to both calm him and scold him. Oh, geez, okay. I can tell the chaperones to go in and punish the kids because that will totally go well. Remember, service aboard a ship is mostly hereditary. These people will be crew unless they, it's difficult to not be. I'm going to say if you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. Doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back. It won't change our fate. We'll keep slaving away on the ship until we drop dead or die like our folks or worse. Again, I can punish the troublemaker. I can give a social Darwinism speech. I like the empathy. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. But they gave their lives to the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honourable fate with anger and disdain. Anyone who's never gotten to meet a particular family member because they passed away before you were born in service of a good cause, or just any cause, I reckon that's a good line. Argenta seems happy. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression. And apparently we're now giving them treats. So we'll throw some Kit Kats at them or something, and apparently that will make it better. I don't know. Hopefully I helped. All right. Hopefully I did the right thing. I tried to show some empathy. I'm not sure if that's allowed or not. But I want to be known as someone who demands like effective service and discipline, but who cares about the crew. I didn't get that from Theodora. I got some dodgy vibes from Theodora, but I'm in charge now. Now I think it is time to set course for the prison planet. So off we go. And apparently Cassia wants to talk to me, so we'll go talk to her. So here we are. This is Cassia and I assume Uwe. Pleases me to see you are adjusting to life aboard the ship. Do you have any idea how overpowered I am going to make you? The events that took place are... I'm going to point to the book. I see you're fond of reading. That... Ha 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 ha, because she has 3 eyes. All right, I'm not going to listen to all of her audio here. But basically, she was only allowed to read boring stuff, and now she gets to read whatever she wants. I'm going to say, hope she's had ample time to calm her powers. Okay, so she didn't like that. Let's instead, are you well? and say, just ask why our servant's up to speed. Uwe. Cassia cringes ever so slightly because I passed a perception test. Okay, so she prefers his because he's not freaked out by her appearance. Obviously, navigators are mutants. That's why they have their powers. But as a result, as you can see, her appearance is not is a bit distinguished from the normal human norm. You're behaving as if you possess a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. Of course I do. Got to be nice. I think she's just used to normal people being scared of her. That's my current theory. You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural. Because they're dead. She's wondering, why do I keep thinking of the other two? And I'm like, because they're dead, I presume. I think she's insecure about how strange this is all to her because she's moved outside the environment. So, man, you can be really mean. What I find childish is your manner of addressing me as if you were my friend and your mistaken belief that anyone here would be interested in hearing about your emotional turmoil. What the? Who writes this? Like, I love the freedom of choice, but wow. Oh, I can also hit on her. Um, Interesting choice. So navigator houses marry within each other because the navigator gene is recessive. So if you want to have more navigators, you need navigators to marry navigators. I'm going to just show empathy. Again, I'm not sure this should be comfortable for her. So let's go with. I'm going to go either with. I'm going to go with I do not tolerate idlers, or perhaps my people do not wish to disturb you. That one. Okay, that went well, I think. I think she didn't like one thing I said, but like I said, um, good relationship with the Navis Nobilitate, very important. But let's get back to space travel. All right, let's travel more. Oh, another interruption. Pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One officer seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. Okay, something else is happening on our way to the prison world. I just want to go to the damn prison. But okay. I want to go to the prison and I want to test out the new Navigator. I'm liking the combat so far. It's got shades, it's activating some of the shades of Phoenix Point in terms of action economy, ability interaction. It's quite interesting so far. Okay, so we have an officer and that looks like Abelard with her. I love the intimidating throne rotation. Oh, Abelard's not happy. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. Ooh, a lieutenant coming to talk to the captain. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant, you may address the Lord Captain, not least of which because you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge, display of belligerence towards a high-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avril Event requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. This is unusual because she has ignored Abelard, who is my second in command, and she's a lieutenant. She's a lieutenant on a ship of 20-something thousand, and she's just barged in here. So this is interesting. This is a discipline question, but also I want to be accessible, but also this is a discipline question. Because if I just say I listen to what you say, like there needs to be He does say that he'll note the reasons for the complaint. Okay, if he's logging I just need there to be a disciplinary. I need to be accessible in an emergency, but not without consequences. So, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. 2 officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought drastic times called for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched. There's a strike on my ship. There is a strike on my ship, and she's saying the crisis was provoked by the actions of senior officers. I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Vessarion to intervene in what is happening. Very soon we'll have a mutiny or a massacre. She's been practicing her speech. There's an insurrection and making aboard my ship, and no one has informed me. Like, I would not. Abelard's telling me I don't need to know. Revolutionary leader. Okay, so there is a protest on my ship, and Abelard's like, it's not a problem worthy of my attention. I think it is. I'm sorry, but if you're saying that protests and rebellions are so common on my ship that it would overtax my decision-making capacity to hear about it, nah, Abelard, no. I need to know. We're going to run a ship with tight discipline but good morale. On this ship, the words of Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure if the Rogue Trader addresses the malcontents directly, he'll quell the unrest. I have mixed feelings about that, but let's talk here. I dread to think what problem to serve the Rogue Trader with next. Perhaps you'd ask the Lord Captain to break up rules in the mess room. No, let's not slippery slope fallacy this. There's a big difference between a potential uprising or a mutiny and a brawl in the mess hall. Like, Abelard can deal with as many mess hall brawls as he wants. Sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. How did this all start? Enforcers found a cultist amulet. We reported up the chain immediately. Open investigation. No heretics found alive. Search brought tension between enforcers and workers to a head. And Abelard's like, I'm not going to hurry in explaining. My competence is under scrutiny. He is right. But I would like him to hurry up. There is established order the way things are done, blah, 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 blah. Rogue Trader's attention is not to be distracted by trivial matters. This is not trivial. I want to know about cultist amulets too. Like, warp shittery just killed 10% of the crew. Like, I want to know about amulets. I've always handled internal problems myself, so of course when I received information about cultist hiding, I took the matter in hand. Not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora will find refuge. I think you might be taking this too far because you're blaming yourself for her dying. Driven people to the brink. Now there's a strike in the lower decks. 3 worker clans. Situation could degenerate into an insurrection. Okay, so someone found an amulet. There was a harsh reaction. As a result, there was a reaction to the reaction, and now we're talking about having a reaction to the reaction to the reaction and just lighting everything on fire. Fantastic. What is Depot for? Poorest section of lowest desk, general labourer clans, easily replaceable. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rock-up brewing. Okay, so she's saying that this could have been contained and now there's a chance of a knock-on effect. Abelard, what do you say to all this? Are you saying he acted within the remit of his authority? I'm not saying he wasn't within his authority. I'm saying that's not how I want things done here. Avril is saying go down to the lower decks. Kind of feel I have to, otherwise Abelard's just going to shoot everyone because he blames himself for Theodora dying, and that's not how I want things done. So I'm going to say that he was acting with his authority, which is true, but I'm going to go to verify the soundness of his decision. Because even if he was within his authority, that doesn't mean he was making the right call. So let's go have a look. All right, so here we are on the lower decks. People are surprised to see us. Not surprised. Oh. He is not popular down here, and also those people should be brought up on charges. Okay. Those people dare disrespect a senior officer. They would not have had a chance to express such disrespect if we were not here and if the situation was dealt with by the relevant officers. Different people can have different philosophies about this, but I'm more worried about the underlying problem. He's very much like Royal Navy circa Nelsonian era. Girls are saying, yeah, just don't dismiss your juniors because they're young. Interesting. So he's kind of pointing out something here that to people on these decks, the Rogue Trader is somewhat removed from their experience. They don't have negative opinions of them, almost mythical. But he signs off on all the repressive measures, so they hate him. There might be room to do some good Tsar, bad boyar thing here, if we're being a little bit cynical about this. Let's keep moving. I'll explain what I mean by that, but it's not just a Russian tradition. It's a approach that is often applied in the real world, which we might be able to apply here. What's going on over here? Okay, Avrilla is barring the Enforcer's path. The Enforcers are the hit squad. I have my orders to put an end to the unrest, purge this sector. And Lieutenant Vent is quite rightly saying that she controls this deck, and the only people who can come here are me, her, and Abelard. Oh, and he's actually happy with that. There you go. Thank you. A 10 hut. I'm going to tell them about the fact that we had things thrown at us. Like, I agree with Miss Vent, Lieutenant Vent, in many regards here, but like, she needs to know that happened. We'll dress her down just a little bit more, and then ask for a sit rep. Okay, so we can either tell the assault unit to open fire, or I want to speak to the strikers. I want to speak to the strikers because I have a plan. But through the power of time travel, I'm going to say that we probably hit an hour, and as a result, we're probably going to call it there, dealing with the crisis on the lower decks next episode before hopefully heading to the prison planet and testing out our new squad lineup and abilities. I hope you're enjoying this episode and this series as a whole. I really do appreciate the support, especially given how I'm feeling right now, and I hope you'll tune in again next episode.